It speaks also to the astonishing bravery of the women who did speak up, and whether they went on the record or not, to just tell their story to a journalist and to be open about that, I think is just a remarkable act of courage. And as we've seen, which the film doesn't go into, but the butterfly effect of all of those acts of bravery continue to affect and change, our society today. I think it adds richness to the story to see what what they have at home to contend with and what they come to work with. And I think both of them, as parents, parents of daughters, have a sort of sense of there being a responsibility on them. But I also just think it's sort of, we don't see women successfully doing both a lot of the time in film. We see this sort of milk being spilt in the struggle at home, and then we see someone like bossing it at work, or vice versa. But these are the two incredibly capable mothers and women who could go to work and also draw a line, separate, function incredibly at a really high level at work, then go home and function at a very high level at home with their families, and just getting to see the richness of their lives, I think, feeds into it. And to see their home lives, these two wonderful, supportive husbands who had their backs and were rooting for them and able to support them through the whole thing. And they felt that was really important to see as well. The lengths that these women go to be able to tell the truth and to tell it with complete confidence, and to know that every letter, and you see really like every letter being studied of what they write to ensure that everything is bulletproof. I think that really matters, and the individuals who speak truth to power can change things. These are not just, it's not just about, the journalists, it's about all of these individuals who, from the editors to the survivors to the witnesses, that all of these people came together. There was collective action, and they spoke truth to power, and everything changed. And I think that's incredibly powerful storytelling. And I also think it's a film full of women being courageous. And I don't think there's that many examples of that on screen that aren't in superhero films. That here is a film of countless examples of female heroism, and that's something really to be celebrated. Journalism at its best, holds us accountable and can speak truth to power in a way that, nothing really else can. And I think particularly when it comes to this story, what I was struck by from the beginning, from reading the article to talking to Megan and Jodie, was just how unbelievably specific and airtight the article needed to be able to run, and how close they came to not being able to run it because they couldn't get these final pieces of the puzzle. And I think that's, there's such integrity at the heart of what they do. And I think seeing that portrayed, seeing actually what lengths real journalists go to ensure that what they are saying is factually correct and accurate and airtight is really important for us as a modern day audience to see that there is a single truth, when it's done properly. The great thing about my working relationship with Megan on this is that she also really got that it was a film, and that we had source material that we were all working for, and the script and the filmmaking process was as faithful as possible, but also that it is a film and that things are going to be, that I wasn't ever going to imitate her, but my hope was to sort of capture the essence of who she was and what drove her. So lots that we talked about was sort of what brought her into this project, we shared a similar experience with postnatal depression. That was something we connected on really early on, that's something we had both gone through and had a really rocky start with both of our daughters. And for both of us, ultimately, it had been work that had sort of provided somewhat of a light at the end of the tunnel, and alongside lots of other things had been something that had kind of brought us back from that. So that was an aspect that I felt was really important and nice that we both really understood what that was.